uh, just launched the recording. So big part of our vision was to create this global network of strategy implementation professionals, both for us, but also interesting for you and network on your own. So it's great to see this continuity and quite a lot of people, despite being just August, where most of the people are on holidays. So for today, let me just share the slides. I thought let's spend more time on breakout, and this was an idea, Robin, to start with introductions before we start the call, so that we can focus more on content and dialogue and interactions and learning from each other. So I'll walk you quickly through a thing, so kind of more procedural and updates of what we're doing, and then we deep dive into two discussions I wanted to have today. So latest development, I want to pick up briefly on the strategy implementation office and have a breakout on that one, and get some more kind of insights to wrap that topic. And then I want to cover any learnings from what happened the past year and has this impacted strategy implementation. So there will be two quick breakout rooms, and we'll have quite some debate. I see more people joining, so welcome. If you're joining a little bit late, welcome. Robin and I are here, happy to see you today. Robin, I don't know if you can briefly, well, quickly on the numbers, we keep growing, it's steady. So every week there's 2-3 members that join us. We have 63 strategy implementation professionals. You see the names here of the latest one. I think, Robin, you already mentioned a few of them in the last call, but congratulations to all of you. You see, we keep steady growing. We are already in dialogue with some corporates. So I think that for us, what we see is once B2B, basically corporates say, well, for my all project managers or managers, we want to upskill them, and we want to make sure that they go through this training and they learn what you've learned. Then this will become like a key certification to have. This is what happened with PMI. This is what happened with most of the most relevant certifications had those years of building up, and then it started to really become like a snowball effect. So we are having very good discussions with 2 major US corporations, and there's always very much interest. So there's nothing compared to the strategy implementation professional course. So that's something that makes us very happy, but we're missing that final acquisition, which is happening. Anyway, so we keep growing, it's very global, and new companies coming in, Bostik, technology, geography, GPS kind of things. Great to have you. I see already some people from France, and this was a request from the strategy head to get this training for you. Prime Minister Office, also some people in Africa been interested in what we do. So it's great to see these companies caring, or individuals working here caring about learning more and getting better at what we think is such an important skill. The more you look, the more you see demand for this type of skills. And Robin, I pass on you for you. You've been working on this heavily in the past months. So if you want to brief, please.
Sure, with pleasure. So Antonio and I are, as he mentioned, we're always looking for ways to add more value as the Institute matures, considering, we're only 18 months young. And one of the new things we are launching is the members page, which will be, which is already you've been sent out. So you will have received an email with a temporary login details, and we encourage you to please change the login to your own personal. And what the members page will offer, predominantly it's there for updates initially on the course, because the next 8 weeks, Antonio and I have scripted to go through the course and to update it. We obviously designed it in a pre-COVID world, and we want to make it relevant and keep it relevant. And as those of you who are members or currently going through the course or completed the course, we didn't want to start discriminating between that. So we've decided that the new articles, new content that we upload to the course, we will post on the members page so you all have access to it. And simultaneously, we will also update the body of knowledge. So anyone who participates on the course, you will automatically, when we reissue the body of knowledge with the new content, we will send the update. We're targeting January next year for that. And then we will send you the update on the body of knowledge. One other quick thing is the members page. We will also have other material on it. So for example, we just launched last month our very first white paper on the future strategy implementation, which was the result of the conference from February. Some of the contributors, Joe and Randy, are on the call tonight or this evening, today. So other material that we publish will also go there, and then other bits of interest or videos or other content that we would recommend. So that's the initial purpose of the members page, and who knows what it will become. We'll see how it evolves, and it's there just to keep you up to date with changes to the course predominantly.
Any questions on that part quickly?
Antonio, maybe you want to mute the participants.
Already done, yes.
Thanks.
If you have any question, you can always reach out. This is more functioning of the Institute. So great. I think this is something that we're experimenting and provide you more value. The world is changing so fast, so it's always a dilemma. How fast do we want to change the course while keeping the structure there? So it's part of our kind of thinking behind that Robin just shared. So I propose to start with the first. Welcome to those that join a little bit late, and we're happy to see you here. If you can put your name and where you're zooming in, let's say, then we can see where you're from. So there's two discussions we want to have today. This is specific to what we discussed 2 months ago, and we had the poll, and there were quite a lot of comments and votes. And so I want to kind of wrap up this on what do you think, if you are a PMO or current strategic planning office, whatever, what are the 1 or 2 steps that you think should be taken? Have you done that? If you're running a PMO, let's make it practical. Where do you need to prioritize to make that what we all agree, that the PMO should become strategy implementation office, but what needs to be done? And I don't know, Robin, you want to share something around this or after the discussion?
Yeah, I'll save it for after. Thank you for the offer.
Okay, so I'll put you in breakout rooms. Take a minute or so to, if you don't know each other, to introduce yourself briefly, and then we'll have 10 minutes breakout room. Then we come back and do a bit of debrief, and then we'll move into the second breakout question. So let me just breakout rooms. I'll put breakout rooms smaller so that you get to know each other, 4 to 5 participants. So you should get now the pop-up. As you know, I'm going to stop recording for the moment.
Business partnering. You need to be work more as a business partner, build the relationships with the business and understand the business. And then the thing that Jan was really saying was that you need to work out who's going to do what and when and how. So I think it's slightly more than 2 things, but it's more about expanding, because the project management can be so insular. Is that it, Tom? Would you add anything, Jan? Input?
Well done. Yeah, that was a lot of words, but I think you summed it up nicely.
Okay, thank you very much, Group 5. Group 4, Chris, Kaina, Stephen.
We didn't decide on a...
It's you, Chris.
Okay, I'm going to go for it. Jump in, anyone else? We just talking around, the actions, I suppose a PMO should do to transition towards a strategy implementation office. So we talked about the importance of setting up that governance structure first and foremost, and really thinking about, how you can establish, I suppose, regular reviews with the business to track the key metrics, so they'll all link back to the balanced scorecard. But also we talked about actually one of the core outputs, I guess, of the strategy implementation office is clearly to build that strategy map with the leadership teams and ensure the cascading of that, out to all the different areas of the business. Anything else?
No, you sum it up well.
Thank you, Chris. And let's go number 3, Henry, Mathieu, Nawin. I might have mute you, so just unmute you. Nigel, you're on the... So who wants to talk, Mathieu?
Yes. Well, we've been pretty much to what was been saying before. So the top point there was really try to make a real get the sponsorship of at a C level, which is maybe outside of the chief strategy officer power, not only at that. At that level, but maybe bigger, maybe like CEOs. The second question was, but we didn't really get some answers about that, is to how to build something, a value proposition for this CSO office that can be expandable to the whole company, as most of the time it's a pretty small organization with resources which do have a lot of constraints. So, yeah, this is what we've been talking about.
Thank you. The governance, really key. Yes, thank you. From the other two groups, anything that was not talked, you want to share?
Yeah, one of the things we said was the PMOs are usually very technical, very siloed, and there needs to be a meeting of the minds, if you will. So the strategy is assuming the strategy is very clear and we know why we are doing what we're doing and what we are trying to achieve. The understanding that the various projects and initiatives are there to achieve that objective is critical to bringing the PMO and the strategy together. And what we need to do is maybe not transition from a PIO to a SIO, but make sure that the PMOs are an integral part of the strategy office, so that they are very clear about why they're doing what they're doing and can talk to each other and make sure they're focused on the same objectives.
Thank you, Nigel. And I want to stop here. I think it was very interesting. I want to ask Robin your views on this topic.
No, thank you, Antonio. I was going to follow up and suggest, I asked a question in our group and Joe gave a very interesting answer. So I'm going to drop Joe in to answer your question, which follows on from what Nigel's saying and, the alignment. And one of the questions we discussed, and Joe shared from his experience with the Balanced Scorecard Institute, we discussed, what are the compelling success factors for really, making this, making a project and driving your scorecard successfully. And there were 3, well, Joe suggested 2, and then I added 1. So Joe, do you want to go with your 2 first or go with all 3?
You got to remind me, Robin, what the 3 were.
So the first one, nice throwback. So the first one was KPIs.
Right. All right. Okay.
Then the third one that I brought in was the person who's responsible. And the second one you mentioned, Andre, what was the second? Can anyone remember in the group? What was the second one?
The owners? Oh, that's responsibility. Yeah.
We'll go with those two, and I'll
Okay.
keep thinking of the third
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. First of all, Andre and Yoram had, it was interesting that Yoram, Andre had what I call a battleground with PMO working with a strategy that's on multiple fronts everywhere because it's a big organization. He had to understand the politics as to what was transpiring, especially because they were spread out. Yoram made a point about the fact that if the PMO was existing, hopefully there is communication going on between the strategy team and the PMO team. I mentioned what Ron was talking about is that we have, and this is something that I drill into the executives or the developers of the strategy from day one. When you get done building strategic objectives for a balanced scorecard, those strategic objectives have two streams of influence against them. One is the KPI for the objective, so you can tell if that's producing what you wanted it to produce. And the second is you got to plug the projects and initiatives and projects into that strategic objective. And really what it comes down to in simplistic terms for those owners of those objectives is, are you getting those projects done on time and on budget? And I make a very explicit point saying, if you're not a project manager by nature, or you have no program management, you need to engage with the PMO because they have that skill set. I even go as far as saying they are a resource you should just use to make sure that your objective becomes successful. And then Robin pointed out the fact that while we're hammering them on accountability and ownership, they are responsible in the end. The table we create makes it very clear. Owners of objectives, you are responsible for the total execution of the objective, and that's those two streams, KPIs and projects.
Nice.
And delivering on time was our third element.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. Antonio. No, thank you. Great, great. It's just amazing the different point of views and the alignment as well on the thinking. And I want to leave it here because there's another topic I like that we brainstorm a bit with this share. I just on the previous talk, I'm pitching an article for HBR blog. Goodbye CEO, Chief Operating Officer. Welcome Chief Project Officer. So I hope I can share that when it's done and if it gets published, but it's in the same.
Are we going to get t-shirts and mugs?
You'll get t-shirts, yes. So let me share back the screen because I had the topic here, which I think it's something that we need to get the learnings, and at least from my field, I think there were quite some good learnings. So the second discussion is, what has changed in terms of strategy implementation after the pandemic? What did you learn? Any new insights or improvements, or can we do things differently? What can we carry over from the good things that in a bad timings as the pandemic happened, but has anything happened that we can take over and apply it more often? So I'll keep you in the same room so that you don't need to introduce, and I think you will have a more fluid discussion, 10 minutes, and then we get back together. So the two questions is, you don't need to answer the two questions like that. You know the topic is what has changed and any insights or improvements. Okay, 10 minutes. I'll see you in a while. And I'm stop recording. Welcome back. Sorry for cutting your discussion. I'm sure it was very relevant, but we need to keep timing. So let's start the opposite way now with room number one. Andre, Joe, Yoram, what are the learnings from this year and a half?
I think Robin's going to flash up the.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
So we were having a discussion, and obviously a lot of turbulence, everyone else will echo. So we thought we'd like to ask everyone to do a quick vote, and you can see the strategy implementation roadmap. Can you just go into the chat box? You've got one vote of the 7 modules, of the 7 areas that we focus for on implementation. Which one did you see the most disruption under over the last 12, 18 months? So you've only got one vote. So please just, and you can abbreviate it if you want, LE or FV or BM. But just do us a favor, go into chat room, we'll give you 30 seconds, just vote where you saw the most disruption under the strategy implementation roadmap, which of course you're all very familiar with. Oh, I was on mute. I do apologize. Do I need to repeat that?
No, we heard you, Robin.
Okay.
Was clear. Nice exercise here.
So just another 20 seconds. Last few votes.
Putting the pressure.
So culture, business model, culture, one on leadership. Oh, wow, there's a bit of a surprise.
Why so?
That's interesting, Joe. Okay, so we'll stop it there. We took a pre-bet. We reckoned business model and employee engagement, but there was very little on employee engagement. Most people have said culture evolution actually has come out the biggest. Okay, so appreciate that. And our team very much focused on, you know, some of his jobs just completely stopped. Other people have changed jobs. But the basic takeaway was it was just keep the lights on for the first, you know, initial during the pandemic. You know, strategy just went back burner, you know, just survive through it. Never mind thinking about tomorrow. Just keep the lights on for today. That's from team one, Antonio.
Thank you. Very nice, very nice way to look at this. It's something that we can use often. Robin, thank you. Nice out of the box there. Room number.
Good for you and I to see.
Yeah. I'll make sure we get the chat. Nigel, Olga, maybe Renata, you want to comment what you've learned?
Our discussions centered around adaptation and the ability to adapt in a rapidly changing environment. And we made the point that those who could not adapt and who were still waiting for things to get back to normal would most probably have either they will no longer exist or they will have to do some catching up. And we also made the point that this is where the PMO and the strategy implementation office needs to be in sync. Because if the PMO knows why the project, the purpose of the project, given all the changes, we believe that if they're connected, the PMO will be in a position to raise her hand to say, look, guys, this project no longer makes sense. We also agree that that was a very courageous thing to do. And they may not do it, but working with the strategy office, they will know when they should do it. Whether they do it is a different matter. So that's it from us.
Thank you, Nigel. Olga, Renata, nice job there as well. Group number 3, Henri, Mathieu, Randall. Randall, you want to go or?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes, we had a real nice discussion about the impact. It really landed up really towards the agility discussion as well. Some of the other things that we highlighted is the impact and increase in digitization, how it's just forced us to be able to change work processes that maybe we had no intention of changing, and again, driving agility. And then we also talked about the importance of the ecosystem now when we're working remotely, having relationships in a robust ecosystem, how important that's been to move us through this.
Thank you. Super interesting. The ecosystem, yes, for sure, play a big role. Thank you. Then we have Chris, Kaina, Stephen, Sander. Who wants to talk? Chris?
Sander, do you want to have a crack at this one?
Okay, I can go. Yeah, go on. Sorry. Oh, it's sunny here. Yeah, I think we kind of focusing on the triad, what we call the people, process, and tools. Right? We said, okay, now we have the strategy. Okay, the execution is using agile. Okay, to deliver fast. Okay, so so the tools are there. Some of the tools are there, probably not used properly. Okay, not optimized, but we are forgetting the people because we implementing tools. We don't actually get the people engagement, which means at one point in time, I mean, even the process is actually putting pressure on people because we want to deliver fast without actually taking the time actually to get people engaged in it, right? So we are going to have a burnout very soon. Okay, well, we know that some people already burn out, okay, but that's going to come far, and probably in the next couple of months, we will see probably more than this. No.
Thank you. Good point, the burnout and the speed of change. Yeah, thank you. And the last group, I had Tom and Shirley.
Yeah, I can quickly summarize. So with Morisana and Shirley, we identified 5 points that that have changed, let's say, due to the crisis. So quickly summary. As first one is, finding people, onboarding people, leading people, and communicating with people is much more difficult. So all on the people side. Second one is, the traditional structures around HR policies, ways of working. They are not fully in place anymore. They need to be updated. So for example, working at home policies, everybody needs to update it. Thirdly, international travel, conferences, workshops, where you actually travel to another country or other place physically. Will they come back, or in what form will they come back? Will they come back as often? So that has definitely changed. Fourthly, digitization has, of course, accelerated enormously. Not only the remote working digitization, let's say types of calls like this, which we can now do via Zoom, but also, of course, the business model has changed. So, for example, registration systems for restaurants, everybody now needs to have an online commercial offering. For example, for restaurant bookings, but also you need to count the number of people that are in the restaurant. So you've got a registration system, and everybody needs to have it. It's not like an option anymore. Of course, some companies benefit enormously, of course, from this the new online opportunities that are there. And the last one is cost structures have also changed. So, for example, because we don't travel or travel less anymore, we've got less travel and expense costs. If we indeed move to a structure where at least part-time working at home will be the norm, then we need less office space. So maybe real estate costs will go down again. So maybe there's more effects also on the cost structure. So these are the 5 points.
Thank you, Tom. Very interesting. And also different points. So there's some complementary, some others a bit different. So this is great. I just really enjoy these discussions because I'm learning. I hope you're learning too. We are, of course, recording. We're not taking notes or minutes, but this will be record and share. And if you find anything relevant for you to keep building up, this is all for you as well. I'll briefly share my kind of learning. Maybe it's more from a project implementation standpoint, maybe strategic too. And that's why I highlight leadership excellence. I think to survive through pandemic, we had to see the best leadership ever in terms of extreme prioritization, cutting to the 80–90% of projects and choosing the 1 or 2 that will survive, make the company survive. Leaders working in projects as sponsors, actually, not just on paper, but in practice, and building competencies around execution, delivering all the means that people need to execute on those 3–4 projects that will keep the company alive and reinvent their business model. So I think that's for me the biggest learning in this phase, and I hope leaders keep that extreme prioritization because it's so useful for the rest of the organization. So just briefly on that, of course, there's a lot to talk, but I wanted to share my learnings too. Robin, anything to add?
No, I'm going to do a closing request before we close out. So
okay, I'll give you the word just at the end. So just quickly, I think we're coming to an end. Thank you very much. I had the usual poll question, which I'm going to put in the chat. Interesting, I launched it, let me go to the chat so you can vote. I launched it this morning, and there's quite already some people replying. So this is, I guess, a topic and partially related. The questions: are today's executives prepared to sponsor projects, to be effective sponsors? And just launched it a few hours ago, but people seem to be quite interested in the topic and linked to what we just discussed. So very interested to hear also your views, and we'll discuss it in upcoming calls. It's open for 2 weeks, so we'll get quite a lot of information here also for you to use as you want as well. And with that, so I look forward to your feedback on this one and comment if you want. We'll discuss it in the meeting. And I want to thank you. I think it's August. It's a month for holidays, but it's great to see you there and be part of that community that we're building. Great to see, your contributions too. I'm sure Robin is learning me. I'm learning a lot, and I hope you're learning too. So I'll give it, Robin, if you want to say final words, and you're going to take the lead on the next meeting.
Yeah, so just echo your words. Antonio and I, we learn as much as being, these calls as yourself. So thank you to everyone. In addition, I just want to highlight once more that August and September, we're reviewing the SIP, the Strategy Implementation Professional course. If there's articles that have really resonated with you, or videos or podcasts that you feel would be of great value to participants, please do us a favor. We're all a community, help each other. Do send us your recommendations, especially in the next 2 weeks. Any suggestions you have, not something you just, well, it can be something you read recently, but really if it's something that you feel should be part of the course, we would love to hear from you, just to help us review and revise the course, so that we can, continue to evolve it and build it. And we look forward to everyone contributing more and more as we go forward.
Great, thank you for those closing words. Thank you, take care. Let's keep connected. Any help you can do to promote the Institute is very much welcome, and please connect with us if you have any thoughts, and let's keep in touch, and we see each other in a month. So take care, stay
Keep
well,
safe.
Take care.
You take good care.
Thank you, Antonio.
Bye-bye.
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 Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.